how detailed should your comic designs be? Now, in general, I'm talking about like character designs, setting designs, all of it. Just in general, the overall design of your comic. How detailed should you go? So my best advice is with comics, stick with simple designs as much as you can. For something like an illustration where you're doing like a single image or maybe like a small series of images, say like pinups or something, you can go super, super detailed because the character, say you're drawing, only needs to be seen from one angle. You can go and do tons of little details. You can give them a really intricate costume. You can make the scenery around them super intricate. Because you're only going to have to draw it once, probably. Whereas with a comic, you're going to want to make your character designs simple or as simple as possible. Same with your settings, because you will have to draw these over and over and over again very quickly to meet your deadlines. Now, that isn't to say that you need to do like really boring character designs or really stripped down settings. It's a fine balance because you want your character to be like interesting looking and unique. Like, I don't hate on really detailed comics. I think they're gorgeous, and people who are willing to like put all that time into adding all the detail, that's like wonderful. But maybe for your first comic or when you're starting out, do something very simple. You're going to save yourself a lot of headaches. You'll find as you go through your comic too, things will get simpler as you learn to draw them over and over again. But yeah, so for character design, your main characters especially, keep them super simple. Your main character, you have to be able to see them from all angles. You're going to have to draw them a million times. Make sure that they're not overly complicated and save your wrists some pain. Whereas secondary characters, you can have them be a little bit more. Say you can give them a more intricate costume, or because they're probably only going to show up in a few panels, you won't have to see them from every angle doing a whole bunch of different actions. You might just get 1 or 2 views of them. So that's where you can really like shine and go all out. The same thing goes for settings. So your major settings, you're going to want to make sure that they're not too taxing to draw. Because again, you're going to have to draw them over and over and over again. And you want to make sure that they're simple without being boring, Not a blank room, but not the Versailles Palace, Yeah, Ursula. That's the only place with intricate architecture. Good job. Okay. And when it comes to planning your panels out, only go as detailed into, say, backgrounds and layouts as you need to go. And so that by that I mean like you don't necessarily have to draw a background for every single panel. You don't have to draw a full body character for every single panel, but you also don't want to go too far in that where you have every page, it's all blank space behind the characters, they're just talking in a white room. All the backgrounds look like little weird abstract shapes all the time and you can't tell where they are. Like, you don't want to go so simple that it's not immersive. But you don't want to go so detailed that it takes you 9 hours to finish 1 page. I really admire, like, manga art teams. Like, I remember finding that fascinating listening to how, like, it'll be a team where you have, like, the main artist and then a whole bunch of people that will help with, like, inking and backgrounds and then edits and, like, filling in all the black spaces. Like, I thought that was really cool. So if you have a team, go ahead and make those really intricate things. But when it's just you're gonna have to, like, cut some corners. It's not really cutting corners because you can design something where the simplicity really works. So that'll really help when you're first going in, is just to be prepared for that, especially when you're working on your own. So yeah, plan simple comics. Save yourself some grief. Because then you can really focus on, like, making really dynamic panels, making sure your characters are expressing, instead of worrying over every little single detail. And eventually, as you grow your skills, you'll probably be able to manage both the detail work and getting all that other wonderful stuff across. And it's really important to save those, like, delicious details for the super important stuff that comes up in your comic. So, like, a splash page or a big reveal or, like, a really important piece. That's where all your detail and attention should go, rather than every single panel of, like, characters talking to each other and it's just, like, their head and shoulders talking, Like, save the detail for the important stuff. That's where your effort should be going into. That's my thoughts on comics. I know personally I want to add more details into my comics. Maybe not details, but a bit more flavor into, say, environments and costumes. Because I know I do tend to go too simple. And I want to be able to make things a bit more personalized and lived in and flashy, but still balance that with not adding too much detail that I can't hit my deadlines. So yeah, that's my struggle. Alrighty, thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions or if you'd like to request a video topic, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye!